Hey there, fellas. Alright, so right here we've organized a sort of workspace where the boys have been making some interesting stuff, such as spoilers, plastic trim, fender flares, and a few other things. And crucially, they've learned how to work with carbon fiber. Now, as we all know, parts made from carbon fiber are quite durable, and they look nice. Now, we were having a chat, and we thought we'd try replicating some engine internals, specifically carbon connecting rods. It'll be pretty interesting to see how much lighter they'd be, and to test their durability, of course. Can they handle the stress associated with engine operation, or can they not? Okay, let's quickly make us a set of 4. You think we should stop at 2? Okay, then let's make 2 conrods, fit them to a car, and see what happens. Let's do this. We make carbon fiber conrods. Translation and voiceover by BMI Russian. Okay, so we've laid down the carbon fiber, and look at that thick layer. We won't be making it any thicker. The reason being, we're worried that if we do, the resin isn't gonna soak into such a thick layer of fiber. So let's discuss the contents of the mold. We've laid out a bit of carbon and stuck it on with a bit of 77 glue to make sure it matches the intricate shape of the mold well. Now the next layer is a divider film. It's just a regular film that's going to be easy to remove, and right here we have a bit of sacrificial fabric, so to speak. We could have left it, of course, but tearing it off can get a bit difficult, so we've decided to go with film. It's stuck to the carbon fiber, and once the infusion is done and the material hardens, we'll be able to easily tear it off. After that, we have conductive mesh. The resin is going to be flowing over this layer. It's there to direct it. So the resin flows over the mesh and seeps its way into the carbon fiber. It basically flows underneath the film, which does have holes in it. It allows the resin to go both ways, if that makes any sense. Here we have a sort of tourniquet. That's for isolation. Now we are going to take this film, lay it on there, and make sure it accurately follows the shape of the connecting rod. Now one tube is a feed and the other is a return line, so the resin comes in through one of them while the air is expelled through the other one. Once we notice that the resin has reached a certain point, we'll close off the tap and end up with a connecting rod, hopefully. Okay, now we've finished putting together the bag. Put all of this onto the vacuum machine and start infusing the resin. So the mold with the conrod spent over a day lying on the heater, and now we come to the moment of truth. Let's see if we were successful in making something. Removing it from the mold is actually gonna be the hardest part. And we have to do it without damaging the mold. It took us an excruciating 30 minutes, but we did it. We have half a conrod. However, we are far from being done. The good news is that all of the fabric got impregnated. So this is an actual part. Sort of. Too bad it's only actually half a part, though. I guess we could try laying out the material required for a whole conrod and repeating the infusion process. It might even work. I mean, at the very least, down here all of the fibers have been impregnated. Yeah, there is a bit of sagging happening, which did result in holes forming in certain spots. In any case, this was a test. And the mold actually held up really well. It didn't break. We can very well keep on using it. Right then, let's fill the mold all the way with carbon fiber. We should even put in a bit extra, I think. And infuse it with resin. We might even be able to pull it through all of the material at once. Let's get to it. Okay, we've let the next conrod dry, and we have really high hopes for this one. The reason being that we should have a complete conrod here, after a single infusion. We will cut off any excess material. What matters is the thickness should be enough for us to have an actual working part. Now we just need to remove it. Yeah, our attempt has failed, unfortunately. The material here was not impregnated. We'll be taking this part and placing it into the mold, into the same position it was initially, and laying new material over it. Let's see if we can make an integral part in 2 steps. Okay, let's begin applying the material. Now the interesting part after finally removing the bit. It was much easier this time. And now I'm curious to see whether the 2 parts stuck together. At least here I don't see any evidence of them fusing together. You can tell that it's different material. Yeah, those are 2 different layers of fabric. Now we just need to cut this. And we're gonna have to apply another layer, because as it is, the conrod is too thin. Launching the conrod. Don't film me, film the conrod. Yeah, there are a couple of blemishes. But imagine the force of the impact it just took. And that is only the outside layer of resin. I suspect that there might have been some separating material in this area, because this we didn't treat. And not even all of it is crumbling. It's perfectly alright where the 2 materials meet. I was even hammering it in a vise. Careful not to hurt anybody. Okay, we have got 2 complete conrods. We're currently in the process of machining them and preparing this Latam. The guys have already started tearing one apart. It has the right engine, they said. And there is a lot that needs to be done to these conrods in terms of machining. Alex right here has already spent countless hours and days measuring them. I take it you've already begun machining this conrod, is that right? I'm figuring out where the bores have to be, which is something I have to be really careful with. What I'm trying to do is find the center on this end and on the other one, because if I'm off, then the conrod will either be too long or too short. So at this stage, you're looking for the center of each bore so that both rods are the same length. Setting them on the right axis is probably going to be the next issue. Well, the axis is already where it needs to be. Now I need to cut the bottom, Bolt the two pieces together and complete the machining. So the hole is about the right size for the pin. The pin is going to be a tight fit for it, right? Oh yeah. The carbon fiber should hold up, I reckon. So we'll shave the hole slightly and press this right in. I do have a slightly bigger drill bit. I can use it to work this hole and stick the pin in there. Okay, the conrods are at least somewhat roughed out, so we'll let Alex finish the job. And that's when we start cutting and attempting to put everything together. We should be out driving in no time. We'll bolt it down, put it on a lathe, machine the bore to 51 mil for the bearings, throw those in and assemble the engine. Good deal. We're done machining the conrods, and they're starting to look like the original part even. So after finishing the machining work on the lathe, we had a half-cooked piece on our hands that required some additional treatment to make it the right size. The first thing I did was mill out this bore to make the pin sit in there nice and tight. And of course, we had to work with this bore to get the bearings to fit properly, and they do now. Now, the most interesting thing with all of this would be to compare it to the original conrod in terms of weight. Here it is, we used an exactly identical one to make the mold, and it weighs 648 grams. That's the factory rod. Now we take the carbon fiber one, that we haven't even machined all that thoroughly yet. So far we've only done the basic machining. Okay, so this one weighs 176 grams. That makes this carbon fiber one almost 4 times lighter. And now it's time to test them by fitting them to a car and going for a drive. Okay, time to call Vlad in. Vlad? Yum. The conrods are ready. Here you go. It's time to put these to the test. See if they're even gonna work. Inside an engine. Well, they are made of carbon. Regular ones bend. This one, it ain't happening. If these work well, we can make a set of 4. Oh wow, that's light. The only thing we might want to change is this. It's the same size and profile as the rod we based it off of, but ideally this segment does need to be somewhat thicker. That said, I do think there's enough thickness and material for it to hold up all right. Of course, we made them ourselves without using a CNC machine or any other special equipment. These are essentially handmade, just the way we like it. That was sort of the point, to keep things simple. And if we see some decent results, we can try making other stuff out of carbon fiber. Anyway, here you go, and I'll go think of what else we can make. We need them like this, right? I guess so, to avoid having an imbalance. Yeah, to even things out. Put them at 1.3 or 2.4. Yep. Okay, so here's what's up. The conrods are all in place. I mean to say we installed those 2 we made. So the engine is fully assembled, we are looking good. Shall we start it?
Давай.
Well, it runs. It runs okay even. It is making some weird noises, but nothing critical, it would seem. I'd say it's running fine for a lot of them. It is making this weird whistling noise, though. This is really interesting, but so far so good. You know, despite the fact the chain is rattling, I say we should still go for a drive. I don't think it'll damage the head in the short time we're out there. It works, what do you know? Okay, I think I might have been a tad optimistic. Do you guys hear that? And the revs have gone up. Yeah, I don't think we're going anywhere. Or are we? Yeah, let's go. No need to be afraid. I'll get in, mash the throttle. The coolant. In the cooling system. It starts well, actually. There is a bit of vibration, but it's alright. And we're off. The conrods? The trick conrods are holding up. Well, they seem to be so far. Okay, let's go. We are moving. Oh my, now I can definitely hear some knocking. Do you hear that? What could that be? Now it's gone. People are looking around to look at the source of that knock. Now the oil pressure warning light is on. Everything just keeps breaking. Yeah, it is making some weird noises. This thing. You'd think that such conrods would be very durable, with them being made of carbon fiber. Okay, let's carefully... Yeah, that's it. One of the cylinders is definitely not firing. Though I couldn't tell you which one. It is unclear. Yeah, man. Why are you hiding? You scared? So am I, though it's not as scary when you're in the cabin. Yeah, the engine has developed a nasty knock. I really need to flip around. While it's still running at least somewhat. This is awful. Do you guys hear it? This is scary. That was pretty abrupt. Man, only had 7 meters left to go. Now I'm gonna try that again. It is a lot of... Okay, now it's dead. Dial it back half a turn. How do you want me to do that? It only rotates one way, man. Now let's push it forward while Vlad sticks it into reverse. Why not use third, though? We need the engine to rotate the other way. Nah, I think it's dead. Maybe try fourth? Nah, man, that's it. That is definitely it. We should at least give it a try. Fourth gear, Vlad. Oh, it even spun. Wait. I think that's a wrap. Yeah, it definitely was. Oh, one-way ticket. Okay, fellas, let's have a look at the aftermath. Here's the situation. Despite our best efforts to stick everything together the first time around, we failed to, which meant we had to make separate layers, which came apart, as you can see. There was so much stress that the carbon fiber was quite literally torn apart. Right, what else do we see? Wow, this one actually got lodged into the piston, and now it's stuck in there. And the weakest points, as it happens, are right here. You got the conrod cap. It was bolted to the rod itself. Yeah, this area was quite obviously insufficiently reinforced. It's basically the same story as with those wooden rods, where we had the same exact issue. Man, we were really hoping these would hold up. At the very least, I had really high hopes. You can see here that the last layer we applied has a crack in it. Yeah, and the same thing was bound to happen to this one. Well, at the end of the day, carbon conrods did not work. I guess there's a good reason why no serious car maker ever uses them. In our case, they just refused to work. I was only able to drive a really short distance. Yeah, these turned out to be really flimsy. This one right here, as you can see, it's simply split in half. Okay, well, at least now we know that making carbon fiber conrods is not the greatest idea. Well, guys, you saw it all for yourselves, how they crumbled to bits. The weakest areas are where the bolt holes are. They gave up really early, and the disintegration just progresses from there, with stuff getting twisted, jammed, broken. So there you go. Don't even try it. These were totally useless. And that's all I got for you. Watch us, subscribe, send in your suggestions, comment, give us a big thumbs up. All right, catch you later.